Hello, welcome to Female Nature. My name is Victoria Chinenye Okoli. On this channel, we discuss issues relating to women's reproductive health, particularly in relation to fibroids and menopause. At the last episode, we looked at the basics of fibroids, trying to understand what fibroids are. So, on this episode, we'll be looking at or discussing symptoms that women can look out for, just to make sure that they are not having fibroids in their wombs, or if there is something else going on in their lives. So, for women to be more aware of fibroids and for the symptoms that they need to look out for, these will include things like painful periods. For women during their menstrual cycles, I've come across women who, during their periods, they don't step outside the house, they are off sick, they just can't function. So the period is so painful until that period is over, they don't function normally. So that's one aspect of fibroids for women to be aware of. It may not really, the painful period may not just be fibroids, but there are other parts of the world where women don't really suffer with fibroids, and there are other issues which, for me, I don't know, I haven't experienced it, or I just hear about them. So I won't talk much on about them, but for this channel, on this channel, we'll be focusing more on fibroids and how it affects Black women, African, Caribbean, and Asian women. And as we discussed at the previous episode, even the European women go through fibroids. So it is important for women in general to be aware of fibroids and to know the symptoms that fibroids can pose in their lives and things to look out for. So, painful periods is one of the symptoms, and the heavy bleeding. Some people can just have painful periods, but they are bleeding normal. Or for some people, they are not really having painful periods, but the period is like a tap. It's just flushing. It's just coming out in lumps. They lose a lot of blood during their menstrual cycle. So this is another thing for women to look out for. Are the periods so heavy? Are they coming out in lumps? And heavy bleeding like that can cause iron deficiency, which is can cause anemia, iron deficiency anemia because of the loss of blood. Yeah, as a result of heavy bleeding. So women need to be aware of symptoms like this. And again, if they're feeling dizzy, dizziness is one aspect of the resultant effect of too much bleeding because of the loss of blood. So women might be feeling dizzy, feeling lethargic, like they're unwell, feeling tired most of the time. So people need to look out, women need to look out for if they're feeling this way, maybe for them to really seek medical opinion and to make sure that they go through all the necessary tests to rule out anything that may be of concern. So another aspect of another symptom of fibroids is enlarged uterus. The woman will be feeling, if you look at a woman, they will look overweight, or they are pregnant, or they're heavily pregnant, or a few months or a few weeks pregnant, while they are not really pregnant. That's the thing. It can be embarrassing, it can be frustrating. I give you an example. I live in the United Kingdom and I travel a lot using the train. For all those years that I was going through the plight of fibroids, there were times there were periods I wasn't pregnant, and people would just get up for me to sit on their seat. They'll just give up their seat for me to sit down, thinking that a pregnant woman is standing next to them, because that's normally what happens on the trains or on the buses. If you travel with public transport in the United Kingdom, people will just offer their seats for you for pregnant women are for the elderly or those who are handicapped in a way. Maybe they are walking with support. So those years, people will get up, will relinquish their seats for me to sit comfortably, thinking that I was pregnant. And sometimes I'll just smile. I'll say, "Thank you. I'm okay standing. I'm not pregnant. It's just fat." So I'll just tell them something like that and make a joke of it. But it is not really funny because a woman is really suffering, and people are thinking that the woman is pregnant and when they're not. So enlarged uterus is one of the symptoms that a woman needs to look out for. Again, frequent urination, because the fibroids are pressing on the bladder and other organs of the body. So a woman tends to urinate quite frequently, and worse so at night. So, and this means that a woman will not be able to be getting enough sleep, which has a domino effect in the rest of their life, on the rest of their life, their activities during the day. Because as you know, when somebody hasn't slept well, they can't function fully during the day. This also affects a woman's life. People need to look out for things like that, or to keep an eye when they're urinating a lot to find out, particularly for women I'm talking about, why are they urinating a lot when they haven't really had so much water or so much liquid to drink and all that. This is one aspect that a woman needs to keep an eye on. And again, feeling full. Sometimes a woman may just eat a little and they feel very full as if they've eaten a lot, because the fibroids are occupying so much space in the body inside the womb. The stomach area is relatively under pressure, so the woman will eat a little and feel very full. So people need to keep an eye on things like that and to find out why do they feel so full when they haven't really eaten much. Prolonged bleeding as well. Some women, instead of having 5 to 6 days, 5 to 7 days or so, or 5, 6, 7 days of bleeding, they tend to go on for days and more than 10 days or up to 2 weeks and all that. Fibroid can be the causing factor here. Fibroid might be the effect. Fibroid might be the cause of while they are bleeding for prolonged period instead of the regular between 5 to 7 days of bleeding. And in fact, some people even bleed for a few days, just less than 5 days. So if a woman is having prolonged bleeding, that has added pressure on the woman's entire life, because it's constant loss of blood for all those days until their period is over. It is important that women get enough nourishment. If this is the case, if they're losing a lot of blood, it is important that they get some nourishment to replace the iron that they are losing. Uh, and again, if the bleeding is too heavy and lumpy, that's a lot of iron that is being lost. So a woman needs to pay attention to their health and their diet, and seek medical opinion. You can't go wrong with that. Seek medical opinion. Go with your gut instinct. Look into why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and just check it out, and just rule out anything that may cause problem later on. So you don't want that to happen. Yeah, just for your own peace of mind, because these symptoms, as we've mentioned, and there are other symptoms as well, but anything that a woman feels is unusual, they should check it out, because the symptoms that we've mentioned, they may relate to other health issues, not just fibroids. So it is important for a woman to seek medical advice. So I am sharing my own experience as a woman who lived with fibroids for many years. I'm free now, thank God for that. But later on in subsequent videos, we will talk about how I got here and how other people, because it's not just me, what other women are doing to be free of fibroids. So for this episode, we are looking at the symptoms. So check out anything that you're not sure about as a woman. And as a man, if you're a man, if you somebody around you, your wife, your sister, your girlfriend, is experiencing any of these symptoms, please help them to seek medical advice, because anything that affects a woman affects a man as well. All of us need to be more aware of the issues relating to one another, not just women. So women also need to be aware of issues relating to men, because in so doing we all live in harmony. We all live happily with one another. So keep an eye out for other people's and anything that they're going through in your family, in colleagues at work, different areas of your life, your friends, any your social circle, any network that you have. It will be really helpful if we can all jointly tackle the issues that used to be a stigma, the issues that people didn't talk about generations before, like our parents, our moms' generations, they didn't feel comfortable to talk about things like that, especially within the Caribbean and African um, heritage. People, even in the Asian communities, people didn't talk openly about issues relating to women. So those years are gone. Times have changed. We all need to be more aware of what people are going through, what women are going through, and what men are going through. So if you're a man watching this video, please share it with all the women around you. As I said before, I always believe that a man will always have a woman around them. So we all need one another. So please help us in this channel, help us to grow. Subscribe, share the information that you have seen or the video that you have watched, and make any comments. And together we'll help one another and tackle the issues relating to women in the world as a whole. Until the next episode, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for supporting us by subscribing and making comments and sharing the videos as well. Look after yourselves, and I hope you keep well. Take care. Bye bye.